make a gradient, or edit a gradient, I should say, you can save it as a swatch so you can reuse it later. Click the fill box over here in the Properties panel, and in the Swatches panel, click the New Swatch button down here. In the New Swatch dialog box, name it Background, and click OK. Now, if you want to, you can sort based on the different types of colors. If you click the Show Swatch Kinds menu here, you can choose Show Gradient Swatches just to see the gradient colors. Go ahead and try applying some of the other ones. You can see what we can do. Some cool stuff in there. Then make sure you choose or select the background gradient. Click that same button down here and choose Show All Swatches again. Go ahead and save your file and leave the shape selected. Now we're going to adjust a linear gradient fill. So with the shape still selected and the gradient panel still open here, make sure the fill box is selected in the panel again, and then change the angle to 90 degrees. You can see that it just changed the angle out here. Now there are several ways to do that. One of them is to draw it actually with the gradient tool, but in here it's a little easier. In the gradient panel, drag the white color stop to the right, this one right here, so you can shorten the gradient. If you look, if you go way far here, look what it does. Look how short it makes it. That's just going to make it so there's more white and less yellow. Right. Press the Escape key to exit isolation mode so you can see the rest of the art. And then double-click the dark rolling hill shape here to isolate it. Click the Edit Gradient button here. And that'll actually select the gradient tool over here in the toolbar. And, it'll open the panel if it's not open. Starting above the top of the shape here, what we're going to do is we're going to redraw the direction here. Now, we changed the angle here before, but now you're just going to do this. Just drag down, press the Shift key, and let go, and you've got yourself a new direction. It's an angle. See that right there? Minus 90. Come up here and try the same thing, but go a little bit off-center and try it so it's kind of like that. You can redraw as many times as you want. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff here, and I just moved the color. So redraw, redraw, redraw. Whatever you think looks good, leave it at that. Select the selection tool and press the Escape key to exit isolation mode. You can also apply a linear gradient like this to a stroke. Come down here and choose 3 bike so we can see this bicycle. And we're going to do it to the wheels here. So click one of the black bike wheels. You'll see it's actually a path with a stroke. If you look over here, you can see the stroke weight. Click the stroke box at the bottom of the toolbar on the left so that it's on top. Now, if the color panel opened, you can close that. It usually does. To apply the last used gradient, come down here, and it's really small. Click on Gradient, and it'll apply it to the stroke because the stroke is selected or up front. You can edit a gradient on the stroke in different ways than you can with a fill. So let's try that. In the gradient panel, make sure that the stroke box is selected. Otherwise, you're going to be editing the fill, which is none. We don't want that. We're going to leave the type as linear gradient. Click Apply Gradient Across Stroke here, and look what it does. So I'm going to zoom in just so you can see that, and I'll zoom back out. So there are 3 different methods here. You can do it in different ways. Say across stroke. Reverse the gradient colors by clicking here, Reverse Gradient. You can see down here it actually reverses them. Double-click the middle blue stop here. And we're going to change that color. Come down here and let's select the magenta color. Now come to the green stop. Double-click that one. And we're going to apply the light blue color to that. All right, now select the magenta color stop. And we're going to make sure that it's exactly at 50%. So you can choose a location here. So there you go. Moved it over just a little bit. Now move the pointer below the gradient slider between the 2 color stops here, and you're going to see a plus sign next to the pointer. Click to add a color stop. This just adds another color to the gradient. Double click it and select any other color you want. I'll try like orange or green or whatever. Press the Escape key to hide the swatches and return to the gradient panel. Now, if you're looking at that and you're like, okay, that's a little bit too much, I don't want that extra color. If you want to remove it, drag it away, the color stop away. Once it's off, let go, and you've removed it. Now, I was kind of putting this together, and I don't like this, so I'm going to go back, I think, to this gradient within stroke. And if you want, I'm going to zoom out. You can do the same thing here. So click on this wheel, and what I would do is the same thing we did before. Click on previous gradient applied, and you can see it applies there too. Now we'll venture into working with what are called radial gradients. So let's switch over our artboards here. Go to one presentation slide. Click the pink hill shape here. Select the eyedropper tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to sample the color from here. So click that shape. It applies the same fill here. You can see it's actually a linear gradient. In the gradient panel, make sure that the fill is selected. You can see it's not right now, and I have to click on it to see it. And then apply a radial gradient by clicking this button. You can see it happen there. Go ahead and save your file. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit that radial gradient. With the radial gradient applied, now you're going to edit the colors in it. So select the gradient tool over there in the toolbar, and you can see the colors and everything going on here. And to zoom into the shape, press Command and plus on macOS or Control and plus on Windows, and I'll move the gradient panel out of the way. You'll notice that the gradient annotator right here starts from the center of the shape and goes out, and there's a circle around it. There's all kinds of stuff you can do here. In the gradient panel, click the reverse gradient button here so we actually have the lighter green on the outside and the blue on the inside. All right, come here and double click on the green and go ahead and select the purple color. Make it look a little different. Press escape and save your file. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the actual radial gradient. With the gradient tool still selected and the shape still selected, if you move the pointer toward the bottom of the shape and drag up to the top of the shape, you can change the direction and duration of the gradient where it is. I'll go just a little bit up here, like that. Now, move the pointer over the gradient annotator on the artwork so you can see the dashed ring around the gradient. Come over the black circle, which is over here, and this allows you to come out and stretch the gradient itself. So why don't you go ahead and do that. It kind of follows the contour of the hill a little bit more, something like that. What you just did was you changed the aspect ratio of the gradient. That's all that is. Now, move the pointer over the little double circle down here, and if you get it just right, drag it to make the gradient a little bit smaller so it can start. You can see you can contract it, expand it if you want. I'll go a little bit smaller, and that looks pretty good. Leave the gradient panel open, choose Select Deselect, and save your file. I love that you can apply gradients to single objects, to strokes, but you can also apply them to multiple objects at once. Choose 3 bike down here, and we're going to apply the yellow-white gradient we created in the beginning to the bike frame here, the yellow bike frame. So with the selection tool selected, choose Select Bike Frame. I already saved the selection so that we don't have to go in and click every yellow object here. Click the fill box in the Properties panel. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply the background gradient swatch. So click on that one. And you can see it applied to each independently. Now select the gradient tool over here. And you can see, hopefully, there we go. Each one has its own little annotator. You can actually do this. You can actually come out here and drag across them all. And what it would do is it would change the gradient for each one together. So I'm going to come just a little bit further here, let go, and you can see what it did to all the gradient annotators for each object. Next, we'll add transparency to gradients. So come down here and choose one presentation slide so you can see the slide again. Select the selection tool and click the red cloud in the design. Click the fill box over here in the properties panel and select that background gradient. All right, select the gradient tool over here in the toolbar. You might have to click twice to hide the panel there. And drag from below the cloud up past the top edge, just something like that. We're just changing the direction and duration of the gradient. Now with the pointer over the shape, let me zoom in a little so you can see this. Command plus or Control plus. Double click the yellow color stop here. And then select the white color from there. Now we're going to make it transparent. So choose 0% from the opacity menu. There you go. And press escape to hide the swatches. Drag the bottom color stop here up a little bit. This is kind of the same thing as dragging it over here in the panel, just doing it out here. Select the selection tool, and I'll zoom out a little bit now. And we're just going to make a copy. So Option drag or Alt drag Windows and make a copy like right over here. There we go. Save your file. A favorite type of gradient of mine is a freeform gradient. We're going to add one next. So choose 3 bike from down here. Select the selection tool if it's not already. And select the bright green jersey here on the rider. To zoom in, choose View Zoom In or press Command and plus on Mac or Control and plus on Windows. Let me move the panel over. All right, select the gradient tool and click the freeform gradient option in the properties panel on the right. You can also do it in the panel here, right there. Click on the freeform gradient. And what it's going to do is it's going to add or apply some color out there. Now make sure that it's in points mode so that each one of these little color stops is a separate color and they don't work with each other. With the freeform gradient applied, let's edit it now. So double click the color stop over here on the arm. And with the swatches selected, hopefully you're getting used to this, select the magenta color to apply it. Press escape to hide the panel. Drag that color stop up a little bit on the shoulder just so it, starts to adjust, and you can see what it does. It's a real free form type of gradient. That's why they call it that. All right, double click the color at the back of the jersey and change it to the dark green swatch. Now drag that dark green swatch this way a little bit. Click twice on the back, like once here and once here, and we're going to change each of those colors. I'll double click this one and maybe choose yellow. Double click this one and choose the, what did I do? Purple, I think. Yeah, there we go. Now if you want to, you can drag a few of these around. I actually drag the purple down here, the green up over here, the yellow up a little higher. Now move the pointer rather over the color stop here in magenta. And when you see that little dotted circle, you can drag the ring so it actually pushes more color around, so it pushes it further away. That looks pretty good. Another kind of freeform gradient you can do is a lines freeform gradient. You'll see how to do that now. Click near the end of the sleeve here to add another color stop, and mine's white. That's okay. Double click the color and change it to the swatch named purple. I think that should be it there. Yeah. All right, now in the gradient panel, what I want you to do is select lines. This means that you're going to be able to draw a line and the color is going to follow it. Select that last purple color stop. What I want you to do is move the pointer up, click to make another color stop, and then click to make a final color stop over here. We're going to kind of do the armpit here. And that assigns color to each one, but it puts it in an arc here. Drag the middle color stop up a little bit to reshape, and when you let go, you'll see what's happening. And that looks pretty good. All right, close the gradient panel. deselect by choosing Select, Deselect, and save your file. I tend to say this a lot, but one of my favorite features in Illustrator is called blending. You'll see how it works next. Choose one presentation slide from here. Zoom in to the trees over here on the right side. Now I'm going to use the scroll wheel on my mouse to do that. You can use whatever method you know. Select the blend tool in the toolbar. This allows you to click on at least two objects and blend them together. Move the pointer over the larger tree, and if you move it up here, you might see white, you might see black. I'm not sure, it depends on what's going on with the tree itself. We want to make sure, there it is, black. We want to make sure that this pointer is white. So click when you see white. Come over to the other tree and same thing. We don't want to see black, we want to see white. That means you're doing it to the whole shape. Click, and you create a blend between those two trees. With it still selected, we want to set some options here. So choose Object, Blend, Blend Options. Change it to specified steps. That means we can tell it how many copies to make. Put 3 in there, and you can turn on and off preview to see it happen. And click OK. With a blend made, let's go in and modify it. So select the selection tool and double click anywhere on the blend object. This is kind of treated like a group right now. Choose View, Outline, and that way we can focus just on what's going on with the blend. What's interesting is that you can see that the blend is still just 2 trees and now a line. This is called the spine. Click the edge of the larger tree and just Shift drag to make it a little bit taller. Release the mouse button and the key. And now you're going to curve this path that it follows. Select the pen tool, come over the path, press the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows, and drag up. I think that looks pretty good. All right, choose View, GPU Preview or Preview, whatever it says. Press the Escape key to exit isolation mode, and choose Select, Deselect. And notice what's going on. The trees are following the curve of the hill. Another type of blend you can make is called a smooth color blend. We're going to do that next. Select the selection tool. In the yellow sky above the trees, you might need to use the hand tool to go up here. Click on the white star, then shift click the orange star to the right. Choose View, Zoom In. All right, I did Command plus or Control plus to zoom in. We're going to make this a blend. Another way to do that is to choose Object, Blend, Make. Now, it should make a smooth color blend like this by default. I was having some issues with Illustrator, the latest version, in doing this, and you'll see there might still be an issue. We'll see what happens. With it selected, double-click the Blend tool in the toolbar over here. This is yet another way to get to the blend options instead of going to the menu up there. Make sure that smooth color is chosen and click OK. That's all we're doing. All right, choose Select, Deselect, and we're going to edit this next. With it made, now you're going to edit a smooth color blend. So select the selection tool, click on either one here, and you're going to see that this is a blend object. You can see it says blend up here in the properties panel. Double click on either one of these shapes, and you enter isolation mode. Now you can take the smaller star, or the bigger one, doesn't matter, and drag it over and drop it on the big star. Now you may see this happen. Now, this will get fixed, don't worry. Change the fill color of the smaller star to a yellow. I'll go to yellow. And it's going to look similar to what we have in the background. Press the Escape key to exit isolation mode. Choose Select, Deselect, and hopefully it'll click in. Select the star again, and Shift drag to make it smaller. And this is where it may happen. There we go. See that weirdness? It should not be happening that way. Okay, Option drag. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Option drag to make a copy over here, and you've got yourself a couple of stars. To see the whole artboard again, choose View, Fit Artboard and Window, and save your file. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into creating patterns. I love working with patterns because there's so much cool stuff you can do. You'll start out with patterns by applying an existing one. So let's go back over to the bike artboard, choose 3 bike, select the selection tool, and click to select the rider's colorful jersey. Now open the appearance panel by choosing Window, Appearance, and we're going to get into this appearance panel in a later lesson. But for right now, click Add New Fill, and it's going to add a fill that's black on top of that amazing freeform gradient. All right, we're going to open a library, so choose Window, Swatch Libraries, Patterns, let's see if I can find this, Basic Graphics, Dots. What I want you to do, it's going to be hard to find, oh, found it right away. Apply 6 DPI 40%, go ahead and click on that, and that should apply it to the fill that's there. All right, in the appearance panel, click the arrow to the left of the word fill if you need to. Make sure you see opacity. Click opacity, you're going to open up the transparency panel, and then choose screen from the blend mode. This is going to blend the dots into the color underneath. You can press the escape key to hide the panel. Choose select deselect, so we don't have that selected anymore. And you can leave the appearance panel open. You can probably close the basic graphics dots panel though. Let's have a little fun and create your own pattern. Choose To Pattern from here, and you're going to see a bunch of leaves we're going to make a pattern out of. Drag across all of the leaves to select them. And if you want to make a pattern, you can select something and then make a pattern, or just make a pattern that has nothing in it and add stuff later. Choose Object, Pattern, Make. This is one of a bunch of ways to do this. All right, click OK. Swatches panel is opened. It has added this swatch, or this pattern, as a swatch right there to your swatches panel. Choose Select All on Active Artboard, and that selects all the leaves. You can see all the repeats around. This is the repeat for the pattern. Now we're going to change the name in the panel here. This panel gives you all the options. Change it to Jersey Leaf. You can press Return or Enter to accept it. And come down here, try choosing a different tile option. You can see all the different ways to tile this thing. It's kind of cool. Make sure you have grid chosen by the time you're done. Come down here and choose one by one, and that just shows you the original artwork, not any of the copies, the repeats. Choose Select Deselect, and we're going to edit things a little here. So let me move this out of the way. I want to get rid of this leaf, so select it and press Delete or Backspace. This one, and this one. Come back here and choose 5 by 5 so we can see the repeat again. And you'll see that Illustrator's like, oh, I still am keeping this area. I don't know what you want me to do with that. We want this blue, which is the pattern tile, to fit around the leaves now that we have. So come here and choose Size Tile to Art. That'll size it down to the art. That's great. Now, to bring the leaves a little closer together, come to vertical spacing, you can select the value, and use your arrow keys, and we'll just do -0.5 to bring it closer. All right, that's it for now. Click Done up here so you can finish. It's right up here. Save your file, and we are going to apply the pattern next. Like I said previously, let's now apply your custom pattern. So choose 3 bike. We're going to go back over to the bike. Select the selection tool and click the rider's colorful jersey. In the top fill row in the appearance panel, click the fill color box. You might have to do it a couple times. And then select the jersey leaf pattern. All right, you can close the appearance panel. That doesn't look too bad, but the leaves are kind of big. We'll fix that next. Let's edit the pattern here, the leaf pattern, so it's a little smaller. At least, we'll do something to it here. With the jersey still selected, click the fill box over here in the properties panel, and you probably still have the swatches panel, so that's kind of silly, but that's okay. Double click the leaf pattern swatch, the jersey leaf one here, and it'll open it in pattern editing mode. Now, there's not in here, don't worry. Press Command plus or Control plus to zoom in, and suddenly, oh look, it shows up. All right, choose Select All, selects the leaves. Let's change the fill color in the Properties panel over here to indigo. I believe it's this one. All right, click Done up here. That changes the pattern. And if you look, it's going to be hard to tell, but it actually did change it here. So it's a different color. It's just blended in. Select the jersey again, and we're going to change the sizing of the pattern. So choose Object, Transform, Scale. This allows you to scale anything. Come over here and make sure that Transform Objects is deselected and Transform Patterns is selected. We don't want to transform the jersey, just the pattern within. Come to Uniform and change it to 60. Turn on and off preview, you can see it happen. And click OK. And there we go. Looks pretty good. All right, let's put it all together and finish up. Choose Select All on Active Artboard here so we can get all the rider. And we're going to group it by clicking the Group button over here in the Properties panel. Choose View, Fit All in Window so you can see everything. And what I want you to do is drag the bicycle group to the left and arrange it like this. Yours might go behind. If it does, you're going to have to arrange it to the front. Now, we're going to make it smaller. So Shift drag the bicycle here and, kind of arrange it where you want. I'll put it up a little bit higher. I'm trying to look at the book, and this is too small. Something like that. Okay, that's pretty good. Cool, we're done. That's it. Save your file and close all open files. To start this lesson, make sure you reset the preferences and start at Illustrator, and then we're going to open up the end file. So click Open or choose File, Open. In the Lessons Lesson 12 folder, open up the L12 end file. And you can leave this open if you want, but we're going to open up the Start file now. So choose File, Open. Open the L12 Start file in the same folder. All right, choose View, Fit All in Window so you can see everything. And we're going to save the file. So choose File, Save As. Make sure you save on your computer. And let's call this Uplift Add, something like that. Put it in the same folder. And click OK to the Illustrator Options dialog box. And now we're going to reset the workspace. So choose Window, Workspace. Make sure Essentials is chosen. Then choose Reset Essentials. Should put everything back where it should go. The first thing you'll do is apply what we call a calligraphic brush to artwork. Let's open up the Brushes panel. So choose Window, Brushes, and you can see a listing of brushes in here that come with the document. What we're going to do is we're going to filter so we don't see them all. Click the panel menu icon and choose List View. Now you can see them. All right, click the panel menu icon again, and what we're going to do is hide the ones we don't want to see. So deselect Show Art Brushes. You got to come back here. Show Bristle and Show Pattern. Now all we should see is calligraphic. All right, select the selection tool. What I want you to do is click the pink text object at the top of the artboard, the pure mental there. And this has actually been converted to points or paths rather, so you're not going to have text. So it's not actually text. To zoom in, press Command and plus or Control and plus so you can see it pretty close. And select the 5-point flat brush to apply it. Now, in the properties panel over here, let's change the stroke weight. Let's make it kind of big. So go to 5, and you can see exactly what's going on with the calligraphy here. Let's change it back to 1. I don't think that looks great. Just to give it a subtle calligraphic look. Now, click the stroke color in the properties panel here. Make sure swatches are selected, and go ahead and select black. And press the escape key. All right. Deselect by clicking somewhere and save your file. Now you'll edit a brush to see what happens. In the brushes panel, double click the brush thumbnail for the 5-point flat brush that's in the panel. This is going to open up a dialog box here that you can set some settings for. Go ahead and name it 8-point angled, because we're going to change it. Change the angle to 35. Make sure fixed is chosen here so it stays the same. Roundness is 15. You can type in the value if you want. And the size is 8. Go ahead and click OK. Now the dialog that appears, what you want to do is you want to click Apply to Strokes because it's already applied. In other words, the brush is already applied to strokes out here. And that should do it. Go ahead and save your file. You can create paths a lot of different ways in Illustrator. One way you can do is with the paintbrush tool. So select the paintbrush tool over here in the toolbar. Click the Brush Libraries menu button at the bottom down here and choose Artistic Calligraphic. It's going to open up a panel of brushes you can pull from. Click the panel menu and choose List View so you can see these as a list. Find the brush called 15-point flat and click to add it to the brushes panel. All right, go ahead and close this panel. That's just allowing us to use it then. Make sure fill is none, and we're going to come over here and make sure the stroke color is black. It looks like it is. There it is. And the stroke weight is 1. With the pointer out here, you should see an asterisk next to it, which means you're about to start a new path. Come to the T, and what I want you to do is paint a curving path from left to right. Now, select the selection tool and select that new path and change the stroke weight to 0.5 so it's not quite as thick. There we go. Choose Select, Deselect, and save your file. After drawing a path with the paintbrush tool, or just about any tool for that matter, you can edit it with the paintbrush tool. So with the selection tool selected, go ahead and click the Pure Mental Shapes here to select the whole thing. Select the paintbrush tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of add a little bit to the end here. When the asterisk is gone, that means you're about to extend or continue drawing something. Press and drag down, and just add a little flair to it. All right, press and hold. We want to select this now, so press and hold the Command key or Control key on Windows, and click. That temporarily gives you the selection tool. Let go of the key. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and try and reshape it a little. So over the path, just drag and drag across, and you can kind of repaint it or redo it. All right, now you'll edit the options of the paintbrush tool to change how it paints. Double-click the paintbrush tool. And what I want you to do is take Fidelity here and drag it all the way to the right so your paths are really smooth. Make sure the Keep Selected is selected. That way, after you draw, it stays selected, the path. Click OK. And once again, press Command or Control, click on that path, let go of the key, and let's kind of redraw it a little bit again. It's not too bad. You can try a couple different ways. Once you're done, choose Select, Deselect, and save your file. If you've applied a brush stroke somewhere, you may actually want to remove it later on. So let's try that. choose View, Fit Artboard and Window so you can see everything. Select the selection tool and click the black path right here that's got this brush applied. In the Brushes panel, you can actually see this icon right here. Remove brush stroke. Go ahead and click on it. That removes the brush applied, so you can see there's no brush applied here. Change the stroke weight to 1. Make it kind of thin. There we go. Deselect the stroke and save your file. We're going to move into working with art brushes now. We're going to apply an existing art brush to something. In the Brushes panel, click the Brush Panel menu icon here and choose Show Art Brushes. Then deselect Show Calligraphic Brushes. That way you only see the art brushes out here. Come down here, we're going to open up another brush library. So click the Libraries button down here. Choose Decorative, Elegant, Curl, and Floral Brush Set. Alright, come to the menu here and choose List View so you can see the names. Find the brush name Floral Stem 3 and click on it. That's going to add it to your brush list. You can go ahead and close the group here. Now, with the selection tool selected, click the path to the left of the text up top here, this right here, and then zoom in by pressing Command plus or Control plus a few times. Shift click the path to the right. Then apply that Floral Stem 3 brush. You see what it applies. It takes artwork and stretches it along a path. Group them together by clicking the Group button in the Properties panel, and then deselect and save your file. There are a lot of art brushes built in Illustrator, but you can also make your own, which we'll do next. Come down here and let's go to another artboard, choose 2, and you should see some art out here. Let me move the brushes group here. Click the Leaves artwork to select it, right here. And with it selected, come to the Brushes panel. If you want to save something as a brush, you click New Brush. In the New Brush dialog box, select Art Brush and click OK. In the Art Brush Options dialog box that opens, we want to do just one thing here actually. We want to do tea leaves, just name it. There's tons of stuff we can do in here, but that's all we need to do right now. Click OK. And then choose Select Deselect. Alright, let's go back over to the other artboard here. So choose 1 from the navigation menu down here. Shift click the vertical lines here, the curved ones, to select them all. And then click the brush named Tea Leaves. That should apply it to them. You'll notice a couple things here. You'll notice that the artwork is, first of all, upside down, and it's also stretched across the paths. You saw what happened with the art brush here, so let's look at editing an art brush. With those paths still selected, in the Brushes panel, double-click the thumbnail for the text Tea Leaves here. You can also click to the right of it. And this opens up the Art Brush Options dialog box again. Select Preview so you can see the changes here. And what we're going to do is we're going to change how things look. I want you to turn on Stretch Between Guides. And what that's going to do is going to take these two guides right here and say that whatever artwork is between these two guides, it's going to stretch. Now, I don't want to stretch the leaves. So we're going to put the guides down here on the stem so it stretches just that. So come to Start, and I'm going to increase the value here, and you could type it in if you want. We'll go to like 7.375, and then the end we'll just kind of leave where it is. And I want to flip it along. So click on Flip Along, it'll flip it along, and you can actually see it happening out here. Can you see that? It's stretching between the guides. So stretching just this part of the artwork here, not this part. This is just getting applied to the path or assigned to the path. Click OK, and we want to apply it to the strokes. All right, now choose Select Deselect so we don't have those selected. And then click the large center path right here. I want to change this one in particular. In the Brushes panel, drag this brush, the Tea Leaves brush, down to the bottom, down here, the New Brush button, and let go. you're going to make a copy of it. Now double click the tea leaves brush copy thumbnail, and we're going to edit this. Select scale proportionally, so we can scale it across, and take a look what it's doing. It's going to scale the whole artwork across, and then click OK. All right, we're going to apply the strokes, because this is the only stroke that has that applied now because you made a copy. Deselect the path, and then you can click the rest of these and apply whatever tea leaves brush you want, the copy or the original. And choose select deselect so nothing is selected. Let's apply a pattern brush this time. Try something different. In the brushes panel, click the panel menu icon and turn off show art brushes and select show pattern brushes. Click the triangle in the middle of the ad. We're going to apply a brush to it. So come to the brush library menus. We're going to open up another library here. Choose borders, borders, geometric. We're going to come in here and find the brush named Geometric 17. And I think that's it right there. All right, go ahead and close the borders group here. Change the stroke weight in the properties panel over here to 2 point, and you can start to see it now. And then click the options of selected object right here. And what that's going to do is let you change some of the brush options for this object only. Select preview. What I want you to do is change the scale to 120. It's going to make it a little bit bigger. And then click OK. And it's going to scale the brush that's applied. There we go. All right, choose select deselect and save your file. Let's talk about how to make your own pattern brush. Come down here and let's go to the second artboard, and you should see this artwork right up here. Go ahead and click on that, and we're going to zoom in by pressing Command and plus or Control and plus a few times. Now come to the brushes panel, and what we're going to do here is we're going to choose what's called thumbnail view from the side here, from the menu. That is pretty awesome. A great way to look at your pattern brushes, especially because you can see the corners, the straights, all kinds of things here, and how the pattern will be applied. Click the new brush button down here, and that's going to make a pattern out of this right here, this artwork selected. Make sure it's a pattern brush, and click OK. Now, if you look in here, you're going to see I did a lot of explaining in the book, so you can kind of go through that. But if you were to look at artwork out there that looks something like this, you could see that there's like an outside corner, an inside corner, there's the run, there's an end and a beginning and end and all that kind of thing. So that's what these tiles refer to. Now, we're going to name this first to start. Call it decoration. Whoops. Decoration. Wow. There we go. And come right here, you can see if you click on this one, you're going to see that this is the actual what's called side tile. So if there was a square, this would be the side of the square and what repeats. Click the outer corner here, which is right there. That was what it would look like on a square, for instance. And you can see that it auto-generates a bunch of these. Choose Auto Between, so it looks a little different. And then click OK. Now the decoration brush should show in the panel. You can see we only said that we want a corner and then the sides. That's it. Choose select deselect, and the next thing we're going to do is apply that pattern brush. You just made a new pattern, so let's go apply it. Choose one from the artboard menu down here, and we're going to come out here and click on the circle around uplift. Choose View, Zoom In, or press Command and plus or Control plus a few times to zoom in. And with the path selected, we want to apply that decoration brush we made, so click on it. That's it. Choose Select Deselect. And it's kind of a letdown because we're only showing what's called the side tile now. See it right there? It's not showing any corners because this is a circle. with the brush applied, let's go edit the pattern now that we created. So go back over and choose 2 down here so we can go back to this artboard. Click the same decoration at the top, and I want you to change the stroke color to something else. So choose like a lighter green, maybe like that. It's pretty light in color, but that's okay. Press the escape key to hide the panel. Now click the swatches panel tab in the brushes group here, and then drag that into the swatches panel, like right there. That's going to save it as a pattern. This is another way to make a pattern. It's actually pretty cool. But the really cool thing is you can take that swatch now and assign it to a brush. Choose select deselect so we don't have anything selected. And let's go back to artboard 1. You can choose 1 from down here or move over. Click the brushes panel tab and double click the decoration pattern brush to open it. So you can see the pattern brush options dialog. Now come to the side tile, we're going to change it now. So you should now see your new pattern swatch there. Select that. Change the scale. We're going to come up to scale here and choose 50%, or type in 50%, and click OK. In the dialog, go ahead and click Apply to Strokes, so it should apply down here, and we are set. Now, I want to show you something here. Click to select the triangle here, and then I'm going to zoom in, Command plus or Control plus, and click the decoration brush to apply it. It's kind of hard to read, or see rather, it's pretty faint, but do you see the corners now? You can see the corners? Awesome. All right, click to apply that 17 brush again, and then deselect by choosing Select Deselect, and save your file. Bristle brushes are something that you can use a lot to give like painterly effects, and we're going to use those now. In the brushes panel, come over here and come to the menu and choose Show Bristle Brushes, and then turn off Show Pattern Brushes. So you only see, there's only 1 in here right now. Double click the thumbnail, and it's going to open up the options here. Before we paint with it, we'll set a few things. We want to make sure that we have a round fan, so we're going to have kind of a bigger brush. Size is going to be a little bit bigger. I'll type in 10. And then we'll just leave that, and we'll come down here to 70%. How thick it is, we're going to make it less thick, and the rest we can leave alone. You can experiment with all this if you want to. How long the brush is, how dense it is, etc., etc. Click OK, and we are now ready to basically paint with the brush. With that bristle brush set up, let's paint with it. Choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. And what I want you to do is click to select the Uplift text. And the reason why we're doing that is so that whatever we paint right now will go on the same layer. Okay, deselect by clicking or choosing Select Deselect. Select the paintbrush tool over here. Choose or select the mop brush from the brushes panel. Make sure the fill color is none. We don't want to do a fill, we want to do a stroke. And that the stroke color is that light green. Change the stroke weight to 5 so it looks kind of big. And come out here and draw a path from here to here. And you can see what I create. Try creating some other art. Just go out here and paint a little bit. And we'll try some like down here, etc. And you can kind of see I put in the book a little bit about where to paint if you want to. If you paint with a brush here and you paint a bunch of like, let's say like bristle brush, and you go crazy, you're like, oh, I'm going to go and paint. You actually wind up with a whole bunch of paths. These are all paths. So sometimes you want to group them together. An easy way to do that is what we're about to explore. Why don't you choose View Outline, and you can see exactly what you just did. You just created a bunch of lines. I created like 3 lines. And they have the brush applied. That's what you did. Why don't you choose Select Object, and you'll see Bristle Brush Strokes. It's going to select all of your bristle brush strokes out there. Click Group over here in the Properties panel to group them together. And then choose View, GPU Preview or Preview, and you should see all your strokes again. Choose Select deselect, and save your file. A favorite way for me to create paths is using the blob brush tool. This thing's pretty amazing. With the selection tool selected, what I want you to do is click the largest bunch of leaves right here in the center. And then zoom in, Command and plus or Control and plus so you can see it a little closer. Deselect the leaves by clicking somewhere. To select the blob brush tool, hold down on the paintbrush and select it. Click the Swatches panel tab so you can show the swatches out there. Select the fill box, so you edit that. And then select that same light green color we were working with before. Select the stroke color box and make sure that none is applied for that. We don't want a stroke on this. All right, when you're drawing with a blob brush, if a fill and stroke are set, the stroke becomes the fill of the shape. It's kind of weird. Now, move the pointer near the largest bunch of leaves right up over here. And we're going to change the brush size. You can make the brush size bigger by pressing the bracket key. I'm holding it down. Right, left. Can you see it getting bigger? Smaller? All right, now drag around the leaf here, and we're going to make a painting, something like that. Select the selection tool, and then click on it. You're going to see it's actually a filled shape. Look at that. That's cool. The blob brush does not create paths. It creates filled shapes. And the cool thing about it is you can keep going. Click in an empty area, select the blob brush tool again, and then just keep painting. And what's going to happen is it's actually going to apply to that object. And if I were to select the selection tool and click back on it, look what it did. It filled it in. It's one shape now. That's cool. The last thing we're going to do is edit with the eraser tool. This is a great tool to use with the blob brush. With the selection tool selected, click to select that green shape you made. Then click the Arrange button, and we're going to send it to the back. So it's going to go behind the other artwork. All right, select the Eraser tool over here in the toolbar. You should see it right down there. There we go. Move the pointer out here, and to change the size, it's pretty small. Once again, use the right bracket or left bracket. I'm holding it down to make it bigger or smaller. And then just drag across, and you can erase parts of this, parts that you don't want. Either side will work, something like that. And that'll give you a little bit of control over what you're painting and erasing. There we go. You can try if you want to make other artwork here. I'm going to kind of give this a little bit of a stagger feel. So it's kind of inside. There we go. You can do the same thing to the other ones. Try it out a little bit, see what happens here. Choose Select Deselect when you're finished. Choose View, Fit Artboard, and Window. Take a look at what you did. Pretty cool. Save your file and close all open files. To start this lesson, make sure you've reset the default preferences and you've got Illustrator open. Go to File Open or click Open here. In the Lessons Lesson 13 folder, open up the L13 end file. This is the final illustration we'll make. And you'll probably see the missing fonts dialog box. If you do, go ahead and click Activate Fonts. It'll take a few minutes, and then we'll click Close to close this. There we go, click Close, and skip this. That's what we've got so far, so that's what we're going to create basically. Now let's open the start file. So choose File, Open. Open L13 start.ai. Fonts should already be there because they're the same as the end file. Now we're going to save this file. So go to File, Save As, and save it on your computer. Now let's call it Birthday Invite. Make sure Illustrator is chosen for the format or save as type. It should be, it always is. And click OK in the Illustrator Options dialog box. And let's reset the workspace. So come up here to Window, come to Workspace, make sure Essentials is chosen, and then reset Essentials to close everything up and get it where it should be. And to see the artboard, choose View, Fit Artboard and Window, and we're going to get started. One panel I wish people used more was the Appearance panel, and you'll see why. Select the Selection tool and click to select the black cake stand here. Come over here in the Appearance section of the Properties panel and click the More Options button. That's going to open up the Appearance panel itself. Now I'm going to grab the bottom and make it taller. You can do that too if you want to. Now if you also, another way to do this is you can go under Window and choose Appearance to open it up. In the book I show you a little bit about what this thing is about, like the fact that you can turn on and off things and, you know, hide stuff and add effects and multiple fills and strokes and all kinds of cool stuff you can do in here. In the next section we're going to jump into we're going to start editing the appearance attributes of this cake stand. Let's start editing the appearance of the cake stand down here using the Appearance panel. In the Appearance panel, with that selected, click the black fill box right here, and you're going to need to do that probably a couple times. The first time selects the row, second time shows you the swatches. And then select the name Aqua here. We'll do that. Press Escape to hide the swatches panel. And then you'll see the words 2-point stroke right here. Click the words 2-point. And then click down as many times as you need to remove that stroke. This right here, what you see, is pretty much the same as over here to start with. It's just another way to do it in a separate panel. But there's a lot more you can do in here. For instance, if you look in here, you can see the drop shadow. This is kind of like a history of the artwork right here selected. The drop shadow is what's applied to it. If you don't want to see it, turn it off. Click the eye icon. Try that. If you really don't want it, you can click the trash can right down here. Click on that, and that'll remove it totally. One of my favorite uses of the Appearance panel is to apply multiple strokes and multiple fills to objects. And you might be thinking to yourself, why would you do that? Well, you'll see. With the cake stand still selected, click the Add New Fill button down here, and that adds a copy of the fill. It's basically the same thing, just copied. Come down to the bottom one down here, click on the Aqua box a couple times, and then click the Pattern Swatch 6 LPI 10%. That'll change the fill. Now, you're looking at it and saying, okay, I just did this fill here as a pattern, but I don't see it. Well, the reason why is this is kind of like a layer stack here. You're going to see this color, this fill, is covering that fill. Click the eye to the left of the Aqua fill here, and look what you see. Turn it back on, and you've got it back where it was. All right, choose Select, Deselect, and save your file. Let's take it further, and we're going to add multiple strokes and fills and different things to text. Select the Type tool over there in the toolbar, and then select the Birthday Bash text right here. Now, if you look over here, you're going to see that it says Type, No Appearance. That means that you are seeing the character formatting, the stroke and the fill. Down here, notice how you cannot add a new stroke and add a new fill. That's because you need to select the text object, not the text within. Select the Selection tool and look what you get. You're going to see Type, there's the character formatting, and now you can add new strokes and fills. All right, click the Add New Fill button here, and it's going to add a black fill to it. It's going to cover up the text fill. Click the black fill box right here a couple times, and then select the Pattern Swatch 0 to 50% dot gradation. There we go. Press the Escape key to hide the swatches. And you're going to see that we have this fill is on top of the text fill. Characters, the word characters here, that represents the character formatting, the color and the stroke of the text. So with fill being on top, it's on top of the character formatting. All right, for this fill row, click opacity. If you don't see it, click the little arrow here, click opacity, and change it to 40%. So I'll just drag and do like 40. All right, click the stroke box a couple times, and then choose the white swatch here, and make sure that the stroke weight is 1. We're going to add a new stroke now, so click Add New Stroke down here. Copies the stroke. With the new stroke row selected, click the color, and select the orange color. And you can see that the orange color stroke, which is the same size, is on top of the white, so you won't see the white. Click the word stroke in that same orange row, and then click the round join button right here. It's just going to kind of round off some of the corners and things like that a little bit. All right, press the escape key. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to reorder some appearance attributes. How you order things in the appearance panel can make a big difference. With your text still selected, press Command and plus to zoom in. I'll zoom in a couple times here. In the appearance panel, click the eye icon to the left of the white stroke row to temporarily hide it. Click the arrows to the left of all the stroke and fill rows to hide the opacities for each. So we look something like that. Drag the orange stroke row below characters. That's going to put it behind pretty much all the other formatting. Click where the eye icon was for the white stroke, and that should show up again on top. Now, click the cake stand you edited earlier. I might have to move down with my hand tool there. And in the appearance panel, drag the aqua fill row below the pattern fill row and release. You're going to see that now the pattern is on top of aqua and you can see both. All right, choose Select Deselect and save your file. Effects are one of the best things in Illustrator. They really allow you to add all sorts of cool stuff and features and different looks to your artwork. Go ahead and choose View, Fit Artboard, and Window so you can see everything. And then click the aqua scallop shape right here. Shift-click the aqua cake stand to select it as well. We're going to group those together, so go ahead and click the Group button or choose Object Group so you can see that grouped. Now you can, if you want to, go up to the Effect menu to apply effects, but you can also come over here to Appearance, click the Effect button, and see the same things. Choose Stylize, Drop Shadow to apply a drop shadow. Go ahead and select Preview or make sure it's selected, and then change some things here. We're going to change opacity to 20%, tab between the fields, 0 for X, 0.03 for Y, and blur will go 0.03, making it smaller or less. Okay, click OK. And you can see now that since the drop shadow was applied to a group, you'll see Group in the Appearance panel and Drop Shadow right here. Go ahead and save your file. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit in Effect. Okay, let's edit an effect. We're going to apply a new effect and then edit it. Click the Birthday Bash text here. In the Appearance panel, select the white stroke row so you can apply something to it. Choose Effect, and if you look up here, you're going to see Apply Drop Shadow. That means apply the same shadow with the same settings as you just did. All right, now click the arrow to the left of stroke here if you need to, and you're going to see Drop Shadow is applied just to the stroke here. All right, zoom into the selected text. I'm going to use Command plus or Control plus to see it. And you can kind of tell the shadow's there for sure. Now to edit the drop shadow, click the text drop shadow here. Change the opacity to 40%. X offset to 0.01, Y offset to 0.01, and blur to 0.02. So it's less blur. And click OK. And there you go. Let's take this text and we're going to add a warp effect to it. So in the Appearance panel with the text still selected, click the word Type. And what that means is it's going to say, okay, we want to apply an effect to the type itself, not to the stroke, not to the fill, not to anything like that, but the whole bunch of text there. With it, you can add an effect by clicking the button down here. Choose Warp Rise. I think it's, whoops. Where is it? Come on now. There it is. Okay. Now you're going to see that it's going to apply it, and it's really tough to see it because you can, the blue highlight here and everything is still there. It won't go away. Select Preview if you don't have it on. And try choosing some different styles. And what I want to choose is Arc Upper ultimately. And then we're going to set the bend to only like 15% to start. So not too much. All right, click OK. And you've got yourself, there it is. You got yourself a text in an arc. Now what if you need to edit the text, but you've got the arc applied? You can actually turn off an effect to do that. With the text still selected, click the visibility column to the left of the Warp Arc Upper row right here. That's going to turn it off temporarily. All right, select the type tool and come in here. And I want you to change it from Birthday Bash to Party. Select the selection tool and you can see the text again. Click the visibility column to the left of the Warp Arc Upper. I can say that 10 times real fast. And you can turn it back on. Now, if you want to, you can also edit the effect right here. Click the warp text here. It'll open up the warp options again and change the bend to like 30%. Try and go a little more. There we go, 30. Click OK, and you've got your text. Go ahead and close the appearance panel for now, and then choose Select, Deselect, and save your file. Don't worry about the 3 and 0. We'll change that or fix that later on. Next, we'll apply a Photoshop effect. So choose View, Fit Artboard, and Window, and click the flame above the candle here, and then shift-click the other flame to select both. What we're going to do is we're going to apply some grain to these. So choose Effect, Texture, Grain. Now it's going to open up a rather large dialog box here, and what you can do is you can actually zoom in a bit here. Click the pluses down here to zoom in. You'll see all the effects right here, which is pretty cool. These are the Photoshop effects. And you can see the different settings up here. You can change like the intensity, less, more if you want to, that kind of thing. Just put it where you want. And you can also increase or decrease the contrast. I'm going to bring the contrast up pretty high. It was already at 100, so that's good. Grain type, you can try all kinds of things here if you want to. I'm going to make sure it's contrasty. Click OK. And it applies. There we go. To those. Now a little sidebar, a tip in there. I said if you look at these, they're pretty. I'm going to choose Command plus, Control plus. They're pretty rough. The reason why is because of what's called Document Raster Effect settings you see right here. If you click on these, if you turn this up, it's going to slow things down if you keep it here, but if you go to high and click OK, suddenly you're going to see some really cool effects happening. That's because the resolution of the effects, which are going to be rasterized, are now 300. So I'm going to turn that back down. You could work with it. It's fine. 72, click OK. It's going to look really bad. That's okay. All right, deselect and save your file. Let's get into applying 3D effects. These are actually pretty fun, and there's a lot you can do with them. Click the purple ellipse below the cake. And we're going to give this some depth. So choose Effect, 3D and Materials, Extrude and Bevel. You can see the 3D effect is applied, and you can see right here that we've made a plane, or an extrude rather. We've assigned an extrude. You can do a plane, a revolve, an inflate, or an extrude. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Now the object, look at the settings up here. Object, materials, and lighting. Object is the object itself, how deep it is there, a bevel on it, etc. Materials give us, do you want to add like a texture to it? Lighting, we're Where do you want the light to come from? How intense, etc. With object selected, we've got a lot of settings to set. So make the depth 15 and then turn bevel on. Make it a step bevel. Change the width to 40%. Change to 40. I'm going to tab between these. Height 30. So it's a little bit different. Repeat, we'll just do 1. Scroll down, and you're going to see there's a couple other things here. We want rotation down here, presets. Set this to 50. Y is going to be 0 and Z is going to be 0, and you can see that it now looks kind of like that. Don't worry about the fact that the cake it's too high. That's all right. We'll fix it later. All right. In the 3D Materials panel, click the Materials category. You can apply a material, and there's a bunch that come with. These are really cool if you look at them. You can also go and find free ones or some that are part of your subscription. Go ahead and scroll, and we're going to find the larch wood. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. There it is. Click on that, and that should apply. All right, scroll down, and in the materials list, you're going to see, if you come down to the bottom half here, you're going to see we have resolution. We can change the resolution. We can change all kinds of things. Change the repeat to 120. It's going to repeat more often. So the grain's actually going to look a little bit, if I click somewhere else, a little bit tighter. We want to change wood color now, so click on wood color. I'm going to choose a purpley color. I'm going to go into purple. If you look in the book, you can actually match the values there. I'm not going to get nuts. I'm just going to go close and say, yeah, it looks pretty good. And you can see it's now a purple. All right, now there's a lot of other things we can set. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how this works. Click lighting so we can affect the lighting. And then select the diffuse setting right there. Set the intensity to 100 so we can crank it up. You can see what it's doing down there. There we go. And to see this with more, right now it's kind of low resolution. It's not showing you the full lighting effect. If you want to see that, click right up here. That's going to turn on ray trace and show you what it's really going to look like. If it was more realistic, that's what it would look like right there. Now, I would turn that off probably just so you can work faster. You can then close the panel, and you'll notice over here on the right that this is just an effect. It's the same as other effects. You can turn it on, turn it off, delete it, whatever you want to do. If you have appearance formatting and you want to save it, you can save it as a graphic style so you can apply it to other objects. Now I moved this down a little bit just so it was a little lower. If you want to do that, you can. Click the number 3 candle up here at the top of the cake. We're going to open up the Graphic Styles panel. So choose Window, Graphic Styles. All right, now if you look in here, we have a couple by default sitting right here, None and Drop Shadow. You can create your own really easily. Come down to the bottom down here, and you're going to see New Graphic Style. Click on that, and it'll save the formatting from this object here as a graphic style. Now if you want to name it, double click the thumbnail, and let's call it Candle. Click OK. Now click the Appearance Panel tab here, and you can see that this path actually has Candle as a graphic style applied. You can tell when something has a graphic style applied because you can see that. That's pretty cool. All right, select the number 0 candle to the right. In the Graphic Styles panel, click the candle style and you can see what it does. If you make a graphic style like you see here and you want to update it, here's what you do. All right, with the candle still selected, look in the Graphic Styles panel. You can see that it's basically applied. You can see the graphic style there is applied because it's got a highlight on it. Click the Appearance Panel tab and you can see here, Compound Path, Candle. That thing has the candle graphic style applied, once again. Now with the candle selected, in the orange fill row, you can see it right there, click the fill color box a couple times and select the swatch named Aqua. That one right there. All right, press Escape. Notice that it no longer says Candle. Click the Graphic Styles panel tab, and what I want you to do is press Option on Mac or Alt on Windows and drag the shape on top of the candle graphic thumbnail right here, the graphic style thumbnail. Release the mouse and then the key, and you just updated the graphic style. Look what's going on over here. All right, choose select, deselect, save your file. Click the Appearance Panel tab, and with nothing selected, you'll actually see no selection candle. That means that the next thing you make will have the candle formatting applied usually. You can also apply a graphic style to a layer, to assign it to a bunch of stuff, and that's what we'll do. All right, click the Show the Layers panel over here, and what I want you to do is click the target icon to the right of the cake layer, this right here. That's going to say anything on this layer, we are targeting the appearance. Click the Graphic Styles panel tab, and click the graphic style named Drop Shadow. It applies to everything in the layer. See right there. It's an easy way to apply stuff on a layer. You can now see that the target icon, this right here, actually is filled. That means that it has appearance formatting applied. Click the Appearance panel tab here, and you can see Layer, Drop Shadow. Now I'm telling you what graphic style is applied. All right, drag across the flame and the candles and drag them up just so they're kind of above the happy birthday here. That looks pretty good. Nice. The last thing we'll talk about in this lesson is scaling strokes and effects. Go ahead and choose Select, Deselect, and click the white curvy line right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it over here in the Properties panel. So go to the Properties panel and look at the stroke. You're going to see the stroke weight is 1 point. Click More Options right here in Transform, and you will see something called Scale, Strokes, and Effects. Select that. Press Escape to hide the options. Press the Shift key and drag the lower right corner so it's this big. As big as the aqua object. Like that. Click on the mouse and the key. After scaling, look in the Properties panel and notice what the stroke weight is. It might be exactly 2 or under 2 or something like that. But by turning on Scale, Strokes, and Effects, when you scale objects, the stroke weights scale. They get bigger or smaller. That's the whole idea here. Choose Select, Deselect to deselect everything. Take a look what you got, save your file, and close everything up. To start this lesson, make sure you reset the preferences for the program and Illustrator's open. Choose File Open or click Open. And we're going to open the end file here, L14N1, just to see what we're going to create. Now, I've got some stuff going on here. Let me close that. We're going to reset the workspace and everything, so don't worry about that. All right, now we're going to open up the file that we're going to work on. So choose File Open, L14 Start 1. Click Open. With it open, choose View, Fit All in Window so you can see both artboards a little bit closer. And we're going to save it. So choose File, Save As, save it on your computer, and we'll just call it T-shirt. T-shirt. Save it in the folder. Click Save, make sure Illustrator is chosen for Format or Save As Type. Click OK. And we're going to reset the workspace now. So come under Window, go to Workspace, make sure Essentials is chosen first, and then choose Reset Essentials, and that should put everything back where it should go. We'll begin by adding a symbol from a default Illustrator library. So with the selection tool selected, click on the larger artboard out here to make it the active artboard. Choose View, Fit Artboard in Window, just so we can focus on that one. Now, come on over here, and we want to hide the Smart Guides. So click Hide Smart Guides for a minute. That way we don't have any of that stuff popping out. And we're going to open the Symbols panel. So choose Window, Symbols. And this is where you're going to find default symbols that come with the document. These are symbols. Symbols, hopefully you read in the book, are pieces of art or artwork that you want to use over and over again. We're going to drag out what are called instances to use them. All right, click the library menu here. You can see all the different symbol libraries. There are a lot to choose from. Choose nature way down here. And come in here, scroll down, and we need the trees right here. So go ahead and click on trees 1. It's going to add it to your document and to the symbols panel in it. Go ahead and close the nature panel. We can now use those trees right there. Drag one of them out right here, and then drag another right about here. Each time you drag one out, you actually create what's called an instance. An instance is kind of like the copy of the symbol. When you drag out some symbols and make these instances, you can actually transform them. With one of the trees selected, shift drag a bounding point and make it a bit bigger. I'm going to kind of move it around like that. Now, I think in the book I made these a certain size, and I'm going to kind of try to, do that. Resize the other tree as well. I'm going to make this one bigger so that we kind of see that, sort of. There you go. Trying to match the book. It's not going to be perfect. That's okay. All right, choose select, deselect. And we're going to zoom out a little bit. So choose view, zoom out. We're going to make a copy of one of these. So just option drag or alt drag on Windows, a copy over here. And let go of the mouse, then the key. And I'll just kind of push it off to the side right over there. All right, now turn on Smart Guides. Go to View, Smart Guides. And for this copy, go ahead and shift drag to make it much smaller. I'll make it pretty small. Release the mouse button and the key. Click somewhere to deselect and save your file. These instances are actually linked back to the original symbol, which means if you update the original symbol, these will update too. That's kind of cool. Go ahead and double click one of the larger instances here. And it's going to tell you you're about to edit the original symbol. Are you sure you want to do that? Click OK. What it'll do is it'll show you the original hanging out there at the original size. It's kind of jarring actually. Go ahead and double click the trees a few times and then select the smallest tree in the group. Let's select that one right there. Press delete or backspace to remove it. All right, now double click away and watch what happens to the other instances. They update as well. That's pretty cool. One of the unfortunate things about working with symbols is that, these are linked. So if you edit the original symbol, these update. But you can't edit this one independently unless you do something called break the link from the original symbol. But you can work with dynamic symbols, and those let you do some things. In the symbols panel, select the trees 1 symbol and then click the symbol options button down here. That opens up some options for that particular symbol. Go ahead and select dynamic symbol and then click OK. You can tell a symbol is dynamic because it's got a little plus in the corner. Now what you can do is you can edit some of the appearance properties of each one of these independently. Select the direct selection tool and drag across your trees down here. Now mine scrolled a little bit. You're going to see that this symbol is dynamic now. It says dynamic right there. Click the fill box in the properties panel, and we're going to pick a darker green swatch to fill them. You can press escape and then deselect everything by choosing select, deselect. There you go. You can see that one's different from the rest now. You need to use the direct selection tool to be able to do that. All right, select the selection tool, and we're going to drag these trees over there. So drag them on the artwork and put them somewhere over there. If you don't see any symbols you like, you can actually make your own. Let's do that. Come down here and choose to symbol artwork so you can see the artboard. Click the bird to select it right here. Then come down to make a new symbol. You can just click the new symbol button and then give it a name. I'll call it bird. Make sure that dynamic symbol is selected and click OK. All right, another way to make a symbol is to drag artwork in. So click on the cloud here and drag it into a blank part of the panel. Once you let go, you can name it. Call it cloud. Make sure dynamic is selected and click OK. Now let's go back over to the t-shirt and we'll add those. So go down here and choose one t-shirt to switch back to the artboard. And drag the bird symbol out here onto the artwork. And we're going to do this a couple times, so drag 2 out. You can resize each of them now and give a little rotation if you want. You can do a lot of different things with these. It's not too bad. All right, choose select, deselect, and save your file. Now we'll get some practice editing a symbol. So we just created the cloud and the birds, and we got some birds out there. What I want you to do is, with the selection tool selected, drag a few of the cloud symbols out here. So I'll drag one, like I think I did it here, and then one like over here, that kind of thing. Select each cloud instance and resize it, pressing the shift key. You can do that. So I'll do that, and then make that one bigger. Shift key, drag, there we go. Now select one of them and we're going to flip it. So come up over here in the properties panel and you should see flip horizontally. Go ahead and click on that. Double click one of the cloud instances to edit it. And then click OK, yes, we're sure. Select the cloud shape. It's a little, like I said before, disconcerting. You can't tell kind of what's going on here. And in the properties panel, change the stroke weight to 0 so we don't actually have a stroke on it. You can press the escape key to exit this isolation mode, and both clouds should now have no stroke. Go ahead and save your file. If you need to really adjust one of the instances out here, you can actually break the link to the original symbol. We'll do that. Select the larger tree instance symbol on the right here. Come over here into the properties panel and click the break link button. That's going to break the link to the symbol itself, and you can now do whatever you want to those trees. Choose select, deselect. Double click several times on this group. And you should eventually be able to select the smaller tree. Drag it to the right so it doesn't quite interfere with the tent. And then press the escape key to exit. And there you go. It didn't affect the other ones because you broke it. It's now just artwork that's grouped. Choose select, deselect. I wanted to add this in there because it's kind of interesting. You can actually, if you select a symbol, there is a tool over here in the toolbar. You've got to go to edit the toolbar, and you can follow along here if you want to or not. I'm going to take this thing and drag it out. It's called the symbol sprayer tool. I'm adding it to my list here. Now with the symbol sprayer tool, you can do exactly what it says. I'm going to move over here and just show you what this does. Press and drag. Spray symbols. Look at that. You can also press the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows and start to remove. So you can click and remove. Or let go of the keys and just start spraying, start adding. It creates what's called a symbol set. So the whole set out here you can work with. Now what's interesting is it's spreading the other trees around, kind of moving them as you add more, right? You can double click the tool and control things like intensity, the density. You can crank the density way up. If I click OK, look at this, how dense it is. You can do all kinds of things here. This is really great if you want to like make grass, make a fence, I don't know, whatever. But it's the symbol sprayer tool, and there are a lot of other tools that are associated with it. If I come back to edit toolbar, You can do things like scruncher, spinner, stainer. There's all kinds of tools that are part of this that once you get the symbol set out there, you can start to work with them. All right, I'm going to drag this back out. Press escape. Maybe. Nope. Okay, I'll go back to the selection tool and hopefully press, there we go. I'll get rid of that, press delete, and come back over. That's the symbol sprayer tool. Just wanted to introduce that. If you've got a symbol instance out here, you can actually replace it with another one. It's kind of cool. With the direct selection tool, click one of the cloud instances. Like I'll click this right here. Since that cloud is dynamic, you can do anything you want to it as far as appearance right now. Click the fill box and maybe try a blue color. Now select the selection tool and click away from it and click back on it. And in the properties panel, you're going to see that we have replace symbol. The symbol right now you have applied is the cloud symbol. Click the bird and look what happens. Puts a bird in its place. All right, you know, I really want a cloud. So click back on cloud and you can replace it back with a cloud. And the interesting thing about that is that it resets it, puts it back to the original symbol instance. Choose select deselect and save your file. You can also close the symbols panel group. In the book, I describe what a Creative Cloud library is and how useful they can be. We're going to add some assets to one now and work with it a bit. So let's open a file. Choose File, Open. In the Lesson 14 folder, open the sample.ai file. Now, you may see missing fonts. That's okay. You can activate those if you want to. I would. Once that's done, click Close and skip. All right, choose View, Fit Artboard, and Window so you can see everything out here. Go over to the Libraries panel on the right here, and you should see, hopefully, I've got a million libraries in here. Don't look at what I've got, okay? You're probably going to see something called Your Library. You can have as many libraries as you want, and you can add stuff to them. You can add colors, you can add vector art, you can add images, you can add all kinds of things. And the idea is that you can either share this stuff with other applications or even within this application. All right, now click somewhere if something's selected rather. Click the Mountain Explorer text here. And what I want you to do is drag it into the library and let go. It's going to add it as an object, as artwork. It's still text, whatever it happens to be, vector, text, etc. But it's part of the library now. Now to change the name, double-click on Artwork 1 and change it to text and press Return or Enter. With the text still selected out here, what we can do is we can also save things like color. Double-click the text to enter isolation mode and just select Mountain. Come down here and you'll see there's a plus sign. Click on that and you can save all kinds of formatting options like the text itself, the styling, etc. I just want the color. So click on the color and you can save it. Press the escape key to exit isolation mode. Now, click the t-shirt and drag that in. And let go. It should show up as like artwork 1 or 2 or something like that. Alright, now this is all still editable. We can use it anywhere we want right now in Adobe app as long as you're signed in with the same name. That's the key. So we're going to finish with this. Take that shape right there and copy it. So edit, copy. We're going to close this file. You can close it and don't save it. And we're going to paste. So go to Edit, Paste. This is back in your t-shirt document and just drag it off to the side, like right there. Now we're going to use some of those library assets that we saved. While still on the t-shirt artboard here, choose View, Fit Artboard, and Window just to make sure you see it. Drag the Mountain Explorer asset from the panel out and then click to place it. If you see that X right there, that means that it's linked to the original bit of text over here. Drag the t-shirt graphic out and do the same thing. Click to place it somewhere out here. And in just a little bit here, we're going to arrange and resize and do whatever we need to do. If you drag content from a libraries panel, or from a library I should say, the content out here with the big X on it is linked to the original source content. So we can update this and it'll update in the file. In the libraries panel, double click the t-shirt here and it'll open up in a separate document. Select the direct selection tool and click in the t-shirt. We did that because this is part of a group and that selects only the gray part of the shirt. In the properties panel, change the fill to white. All right, now save the file and we're going to close it. So choose File, Save, and then File, Close. If you look, everything should be updated. Now, if you go back to the libraries panel too, you should see it updated there. What I want you to do is click the t-shirt artwork right here, and in the properties panel, we can embed that so it doesn't link anymore. Click Embed. That way if you update the graphic in the libraries panel, it won't update here. Click Embed, and it's now part of the document here. That's it. It's no longer linked. With the selection tool, click the Arrange button and choose Send to Back so it goes behind everything, except for the green. To make it bigger, shift drag a corner. We're going to make it kind of big, and I just screwed up there. It also moved. I'm going to fit the artboard in the window. Make it a little bigger. And then drag it into place here. Yeah, something like that. That's good. Okay. To lock it, press Command 2 or Control 2. That's Object Lock Selection. Alright, click the shape you pasted in here and drag it into the lower left corner, right down there, if you can do it. And then in the Properties panel, click More Options up here, and we want to scale this. These are rounded corners, so we want to scale those. So choose Scale Corners, press Escape to hide that, and then scale this. Press the Shift key and drag up, make it bigger. So we're going to go a little bit bigger than this stuff here. Release the mouse button and the key, and that's okay if it's kind of not, showing everything or cutting stuff off. It's fine. All right, drag across the trees and the clouds and everything like that so you can select it all. And you might not get everything. I don't know if I got everything, so I'm going to move the Mountain Explorer stuff up and then drag from here. There we go. Choose Object, Clipping Mask, Make. That's going to take that white shape and make a clipping mask and cut off everything outside of it. All right, choose Select, Deselect. Let's finish the t-shirt artwork and then we'll move on to something else. Click the artwork you applied here and then Option Shift Drag so it's smaller. I'm going to make it yay big. Let go of the mouse and the keys and then kind of drag it onto the t-shirt. Maybe up a little higher. And then drag the Mountain Explorer down here. Alright, so I'm realizing that the icons are gone because they're actually part of this right now. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to double click in here and I can see the icons right there. I'm going to go to View Outline. There are the icons right there. I'm going to select them and cut them. I'm going to get out of outline mode. Get out of this and paste, and there are my icons. Okay, so now they should be there. There we go. Little extra for you, right there. The last thing we're going to do in this lesson is work with global editing, and you'll see what I mean by that. Let's open a file. Choose File, Open. Open up the L14 Start 2, and I didn't have you open the end file because it's actually kind of boring. Click Open, and what I want you to do is choose View Fit All in Windows so we can see them a little closer. With the selection tool selected, click the black circle behind the microphone here. Now what we want to do is we want to select the other black ones so that we can change maybe like the color. You can do that by pressing the Shift key, but you can also use Global Edit. Come over here and click Start Global Edit. And it basically selects everything that's similar. Click the arrow to the right over here, far right, and what you can do is you can do things like, I only want to match the appearance. So click on that. It's going to select the ones with black. See here? That's it. Now you can further refine it. That's what we're doing here. We're refining by size. Select size, and only 2 circles are now selected because they're the same size. Click the stroke color in the properties panel now, and let's pick some kind of red maybe. You can press escape if you want to. Click away, and you can see that you've got them colored now. And that's it. Global Edit's pretty awesome. It allows you to select similar objects, be able to edit them, do things you need, and work from there. Choose Select, Deselect if you need to. Save your file and